Today, our San Francisco Giants can win the World Series. Again. We currently lead the series 3-2 over the Texas Rangers. We return home for Game 6, and if we win this game today, we are the world champions for the first time in 14 years. There's a lot at stake going into this game, and we're hoping to avoid a Game 7 and finally win that world championship that we have been going for since the very first episode of this series. Last episode, we played games 4 and 5 in Texas, and we split them. We won game 4 to take a 3-1 series lead. This was certainly an interesting game. Our offense did really well early. We really hit the ball well against Joe Ryan, scoring 5 runs over the first 3+ innings. But then Joe Ryan was taken out. The Rangers bullpen faced off against 21 batters, and they combined to go 0 for 18 with 3 walks. As for us, Sandy Alcantara was okay. The bullpen did their job, though, which was enough to win the game despite a big 5th inning with a 2-run homer by Ketel Marte and a solo homer by Nathaniel Lowe, the two of them going back-to-back. But the big story in this game was obviously the pitching and certainly the flip between Joe Ryan's struggles and then the bullpen doing really well. Game 5, we had an opportunity to clinch the title, but the offense just did not show up. 15 consecutive scoreless innings for us. I thought Mason Miller pitched pretty well. It just kind of fell apart for him in the 5th inning. And with the season on the line, Chris Paddock pitched an absolute gem. So I feel like going into this game, we've got to figure out which version of the offense we're getting because it's been very streaky throughout the postseason. We've had some guys perform really well, like Tommy Rogers and Jung-Hoo Lee, but we need other guys to step up. Murakami, Garrett, Ramirez, Donovan, they have all been ultra inconsistent really through the entire month, and we need 1 or 2 of those guys to have a few big hits in this game if we want to seal the deal. It seems like our offense has some really good stretches where we get multiple hits and multiple innings in a row, and other stretches where it's like we forget how to hit the ball for 15 innings at a time. Kyle Harrison will get the start here in Game 6, his last appearance of the year. Harrison's been really good when on the field over the last few seasons, and we trust him to deliver and help us win this title. He has started in 4 games, and he's not gotten a win in any of them, but it's not his fault. He's gotten virtually no run support in any of the postseason games he started, so we're hoping that changes. Fernando Molina will be available to pitch as well, given the likelihood that Sandy Alcantara would get the start in Game 7 if we were to lose this game. Molina's going to be available if we need him, and of course the bullpen ready to rock and roll as always. So Corbin Burnes on the bump against Kyle Harrison, a pitching rematch from what we saw in Game 2, a 3-2 Giants win in 12 innings. We can only hope this game is as exciting as that one. With Harrison warming up, he has an opportunity to do something that the Giants have not done in nearly a decade and a half, and that is win a World Series title. The Giants dynasty of the early 2010s started with a championship against the Texas Rangers, and we're hoping that this next run of winning, maybe dare I say a dynasty, would begin with beating the Texas Rangers in the World Series as we take a look at both lineups and we take a look at the talented lefty, Kyle Harrison, on the mound for the Giants. Again, he does not have a win in the postseason, but it's not his fault. Shout out Justin Herbert. He hasn't gotten any run support throughout this postseason. 2.86 ERA, whip at 1 sharp. I mean, he's pitched really well. It's just about the offense delivering. We'll start with Steven Kwan. He lines this one into center. The former Ranger, Leody Taveras, is there to make the play. This Rangers team has been in the World Series multiple times over the last few years and lost. Taveras has been on those teams. He knows how badly the Rangers want it. Perdomo flies it into center. Taveras under it again, and he will make the play for the second out of the inning. That'll send us to Corey Seager. I feel like we're still waiting for that big World Series moment from him. It hasn't come through the first 5 games as he draws a walk, and the Rangers get themselves a base runner with 2 away. We have gotten some big moments in this series for Ketel Marte. Can he give the Rangers another? Runner on first, 2 away, behind 1-2, and Marte launches it into left center. Welcome to Game 6 of the World Series. 2-run homer for Ketel Marte. His 5th of the postseason, third of the World Series, and the Texas Rangers are on the board here in the top of the first inning. They lead it 2-0. A big swing by Ketel Marte. The Rangers clearly coming to play with an early strike. The Butterflies only intensifying on the mound for Kyle Harrison. That'll bring up Josh Young now for the Rangers. I thought he performed pretty well during the 3 games at home in Texas. An alum of Texas Tech University, hometown kid, as he swings and misses on the slurve. Not a bad start, though, for the Rangers with the 2-run homer by Ketel Marte. We've got some work to do facing off against the talented righty Corbin Burnes. He got the start in Game 2 of the World Series, and he pitched overall fairly well in that game. Obviously, the Rangers did not win it, but it wasn't really his or the pitching staff's fault. In 4 starts, he's thrown nearly 26 innings, and he's been quite good. ERA in the mid-2s, whip at around 1. He has really produced for the Rangers here in October. We'll see if he can do it one more time as Rogers lines this one into right. It is caught by Adolis Garcia for the first out of the inning. If the Giants do end up winning the World Series, you would think that Tommy Rogers is probably on the short list for World Series MVP. Jung-Hoo Lee up the middle, base hit. Lee obviously has had a terrific postseason. He has simmered down a little bit in the World Series, and his average has gone all the way down to .451. I know, not going to cut it, am I right? So Jung-Hoo Lee is aboard, and we'll see if the Giants can respond with some runs as Blake Sabol moves up in the order, hitting third. And I don't know what he was waiting for. Did he think that pitch was going to be inside or something? Looks like a curveball down the middle. He wishes he could have that one back. Full count now for Stone Garrett. And he lines this one into right. This one should be caught, and it will by Adolis Garcia. So the Rangers and Corbin Burnes are able to get out of the inning unscathed, only having allowed the one hit. As it remains 2-0, and we move into the top of the second, we'll see if the Rangers can do some damage here. Nathaniel Lowe leads off the inning for the Rangers. 1-1 on the ground. Ramirez going to be a tough throw. Play at first is not in time. But hold on, I kind of think he was out. And we're going to challenge this call. I thought he was out at first base. Let's take a closer look at this one here with a review. I figure we might as well use the challenge. We're probably not going to have another call that close, and I think he was out anyway. Right there, he's out. So I think this play will be reversed, although from this angle, it looks a lot closer. Maybe it's too close to overturn. I could see it going either way, but I think we saw enough in that first look, and ultimately, the umpires agree. The call has been reversed. Nathaniel Lowe is out. Good work here by the San Francisco staff to challenge the call. Yandy Diaz now up for the Rangers. He gets hit, but he checks his swing. Umpire says he went around. They're going to rule that as strike 3. Unfortunate there for Texas. Adolis Garcia now up for the Rangers. Count is 2-1. We're still waiting for that big hit from Garcia. Won't be here. Lines it over to right. Caught by Jung-Hoo Lee. Much better inning for Kyle Harrison as he will retire at the side. And that will bring us into the bottom of the second. We'll see if the Giants can get some runs here and look to take the lead, or at the very least make this game a little bit closer. We have not scored since early in the 4th inning of Game 4. It's been a while, nearly 2 full games, and Murakami is looking to change that. Liner into left, it is gone! Solo home run for Munetaka Murakami, his second of the postseason. And the San Francisco Giants bring you within 1. It has not been a great postseason for Munetaka Murakami. Silver Slugger, Hank Aaron, MVP finalist. He was so good this year, but he just hasn't played all that well here in October. But when we need a big home run from him here in a big game, he delivers. That ball did not get that far off the ground, but he hit it so hard, it just kept going and going and going until eventually it made its way over the fence to put the San Francisco Giants on the board as it's 2-1 with a projected distance of around 390 feet and an exit velo just shy of 112. So the Giants are on the board. The offense might actually show up today, unlike Game 5, as that brings up Ian Happ. Flies this one into center field. Should be caught, and it will by Ketel Marte for the first out of the frame. We moved Happ down the order given his struggles in the postseason with runners on base. I'm not sure what the deal with that is. Here's Kyler Rodriguez up the middle with a base hit. Another guy who's really played well in the World Series and also could be in the running for World Series MVP, especially with his 2-home run game back in Game 3, and we have kept him in the lineup since. Jose Ramirez now with Rodriguez going for second. He is safe. That was a close one, but the umpire ruled that he made it to the bag narrowly in time. So K-Rod is in scoring position, one away here for J-Ram with a full count, and he goes down looking on the cutter. Thought that pitch would be low, but it squeaks into the bottom part of the strike zone as that brings up the former Ranger Leody Taveras ahead 3-1. Lines this one into the opposite field. That will drop fair. It'll roll to the foul wall. Runner scores. We're tied at 2 as Leody Taveras is safe at second. A big swing by Taveras, who continues to play so well throughout the entirety of the playoffs. Obviously, his defense and his speed is the biggest reason why we signed him, but his offense, since he came back from injury in the NLCS and now the World Series, has been terrific. Tommy Rogers hits this one high and deep into straightaway center. Marte at the track, at the wall. It's gone! And the Giants take the lead 4-2. Who else but Tommy Rogers? His team-leading 6th home run of the postseason to put San Francisco ahead here in Game 6 of the World Series. What a season it has been so far for Tommy Rogers. His 3rd big league campaign finally broke out into the star we knew he could be. All-Star, Silver Slugger. He's had a fantastic postseason. He's had a fantastic World Series. And now he does this. Game 6, elimination game, 2-run blast to put San Francisco ahead. It's been a rough inning here for Corbin Burnes. He's now allowed 4 runs as that one goes nearly 420 feet with an exit velo of around 105. So it's a 4-2 lead for the Giants as Jung-Hoo Lee goes down looking. Big strikeout for the Rangers. They needed that one badly. But a really strong inning for San Francisco. They score 4 with the homer by Murakami, RBI double by Taveras, and then a 2-run blast by Tommy Rogers. 3 of those 4 runs coming with 2 outs. We've actually given Kyle Harrison some run support. We'll see if we can capitalize on that as he gets Jefferson Caro swinging out of his shoes on the slider. Very nice pitch by Harrison for the first out of the frame. Stephen Kwan now up for the Rangers. Chops this one over to first. Garrett makes the play, tags the bag for out number 2. I think Kyle Harrison has pitched really well since that first inning where it was a little bit sloppy, letting up the late base runner and, of course, the home run by Marte. But since then, the Rangers have not gotten anyone on. Geraldo Perdomo flies this one in to left. Rogers is under it, should make the play. 7 consecutive retired batters for Kyle Harrison. Looking a lot more like the guy that we know him to be. A 4-2 lead going into the bottom of the 3rd as the offense looks to keep the momentum rolling after a huge second inning. 3-4-5 hitters due up. Blake Sabol hits this one well into center. That one is going to be caught, however, by Ketel Marte for the first out of the inning. For Corbin Burnes, it's just you got to tread water at this point. You got to hope your offense can play well enough to make up the 2 runs and then some and not let that really bad inning get worse. Garrett up the middle, blocked at second base by Perdomo, and there will be no throw to first. It's an infield single for Stone Garrett, and the Giants have a runner on with 1 away. Munetaka Murakami started the second inning rally with a homer, looking for another one, but that one does not have enough carry. It'll be caught for the second out of the inning in left by Stephen Kwan. That will bring us to the 6th hitter, Ian Happ, ahead 3-1. Lines this one into center, hits it pretty well, but it will be caught by Marte. So no runs scored for either team in a pretty quiet 3rd inning across the board. 1 hit for the Giants, and that is it. That'll bring us to the 4th. Rangers looking to get something going, and they've got a good opportunity with the 3-4-5 hitters due up. We'll open with Corey Seager. He's ahead in the count 3-1. Walked his last time up, and he walks again. Could this be a sign we get another Ketel Marte home run? That would be a big deal. The Rangers could really use it right about now. Doesn't look like that'll be the case. He hits it somewhat well into right center, but Leody Taveras has had a pretty busy night so far. Rangers over it for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Josh Jung, looking to help the spark for the Rangers. Jung, he does hit lefties pretty well. 99 power. Full count here for Jung. He draws a walk as well. Harrison's command has been a little bit off here in this inning. He allows another walk. The Rangers still only have one base hit, but they've gotten a handful of walks, including these two. Nathaniel Lowe, the 1-1, pops it up, should not have swung at that pitch, and it will be caught by Murakami for the second out of the inning, and that presents us with a huge at-bat upcoming for the number 7 hitter, Yandy Diaz. 1-1, 2-on, 2 away, and he gets hit! That'll work! The Rangers load the bases without getting a base hit, and that presents us with Adolis Garcia, the biggest at-bat of the night so far, maybe the biggest of the World Series as he looks at the circle change for ball 2. The 5-time All-Star and former World Series MVP battles with Kyle Harrison in Game 6 of the World Series with the bases loaded. Our offense usually struggles with the bases loaded, but what about the Rangers? He swings and misses at the fastball. Count is even at 2-2. Harrison looking to get out of the inning here against the ultra-talented Garcia, who is still looking for that big World Series hit, and this would be a good time to get it. Fouls it off to the first base side, and the Rangers keep the inning going once again. Count stays 2-2 for Garcia. Bases loaded. 2 away. Got him looking! The low circle change barely edges its way into the corner of the strike zone for a called strike 3. Harrison and friends get out of it as it remains 4-2. So the Rangers leave them loaded, and we'll see if the Giants can capitalize. Rodriguez, grounder to second. Nice scoop by Geraldo Perdomo for the first out of the inning. Good defense there by Texas, looking for just about anything at this point after their failed opportunity in the top half of the frame. As Jose Ramirez gets plunked, looked like it went for his knee. And now J-Ram is aboard. Both teams are throwing at each other. This could get ugly. Oh my God! Corbin Burns is dead! He is lying on the mound lifelessly! Jesus Christ! So obviously he's going to be taken out of the game. He just got his stuff rocked by a 100-mile-an-hour comebacker by Leody Taveras, which will be a base hit. Oh my goodness, what a scary sight here in Game 6 of the World Series. Obviously, the Rangers are going to have to make a pitching change, and this certainly sucks for them because they're not really prepared to do this. I'm sure they were thinking about taking him out, but now they're kind of rushed into it, and it's Framber Valdez who will replace him. Valdez has pitched pretty well for them in the World Series so far, to be fair, and would you look at this? Rogers grounds it to second. Not quite a double play. He is safe. It's really hard to get Tommy Rogers to ground out on a double play because he's so fast. There's not much an opposing infield can do, and so getting the extra out, we're going to fully capitalize. Jung-Hoo Lee sends it into left center. It's 5-2. Rogers looks to score. He's safe, and it's 6-2. Sometimes the margin of victory can be someone hustling out a grounder, and Tommy Rogers hustling to first base on that grounder keeps the inning alive, and of course, credit to Jung-Hoo Lee, who's been the best player in baseball here in the month of October. Keeps it going. Giants are up 6-2. Blake Sabol, that's not an easy pitch to lay off of, but he does, and it looks like the umpires might have got it wrong. That pitch looks like it was in the strike zone, but we are not complaining. 3-1, draws a walk. That pitch was even more inside than the last one. 2 on now, 2 away, and a chance to add to the lead, but Stone Garrett is going fishing. Not the pitch to swing at. Not a bad inning, though. The Giants add a pair with the 2-run, 2-out double by Jung-Hoo Lee. It is 6-2 going into the 5th. The leash for Kyle Harrison is pretty small considering how long the last inning went. He has only allowed 1 hit, the home run by Marte, but he's allowed a handful of walks. His command has been a little bit spotty. So we'll start with Jefferson Caro. Grounder up the middle. Ramirez, what a play! Throw to first. Not in time. He is safe. That was a close call. And I think we're going to take Kyle Harrison out now. His pitch count is starting to rise. The last inning was a little bit rocky. And I feel really confident about our bullpen. Not a bad start, though, for Harrison. 4 innings, 2 earned runs allowed so far. It wasn't his best day, but it certainly wasn't a bad one, considering we finally got some run support. We're going to bring Fernando Molina out of the bullpen. We drafted him as a reliever. That's where he started his career before moving to the rotation. The plan, if all goes well, is that Molina would throw the next 2 innings, and then the back-end bullpen is going to slam the door. Not a great start, though. Stephen Kwan singles into left, and if the Rangers play their cards well, this inning could get interesting. 2 on, nobody out, heart of the order up. Geraldo Perdomo, single into right. The runner, Caro, will look to score. Throw from Lee is a bullet. The tag, no! Sabol drops it! I think he might have tagged him in time, but he didn't hold on to the ball. And it's now 6-3. Really close call. I'm surprised the Rangers sent the runner since there was nobody out. I get they screwed it up with the bases loaded last inning, but with nobody out, I feel like you keep him there. Nonetheless, it works out. Wild pitch now. That's a ball 4 anyway. Seager takes his base. Molina is not looking too hot so far. The first 3 guys he faces all reach base. Bases are loaded. Nobody out. This could go downhill quick. Ketel Marte goes down on the running fastball. Huge strikeout from Molina. He's been so good this year. He's had a pretty good postseason. We're going to trust him and keep him in. Young lines it into right. Caught by Lee. Fading into the wall. Run will score off the sacrifice. And because the Giants are being nonchalant, the other run, Perdomo, he's safe. Gutsy base running by the Rangers, and it pays off. The Giants were moving the ball out of the outfield slowly, and the Rangers take advantage. So Jung-Hoo Lee is running into the wall here. He was trying to position his feet to have a chance to make a throw at the plate. Doesn't happen. So eventually he pivots. He fakes his throw, not expecting Perdomo to go home. Garrett doesn't send it to the plate super fast because he doesn't realize that the runner's going. Nathaniel Lowe flies it up into left, caught by Rogers. Big inning, though, for the Rangers. They are back in the game. A 3-run frame for Texas, and it's 6-5, including a defensive blunder by San Francisco. So all of a sudden, we're only down by 1. The Rangers are right back in the thick of things. Munetaka Murakami leads it off for the Giants. Dribbler to short. Throw by Seager is in time. That'll go for the first out of the inning. That's going to bring us to Ian Happ. There's nobody on, so maybe he's going to be able to do something here. 1-1, lines it well into right. Garcia chases after it. He makes the play for the second out of the inning. That will bring us to the number 7 hitter, Kyler Rodriguez. Base hit in his first at-bat of the game. 1-1 for K-Rod. Grounds it to third. Young makes the play. Throw to first is in time. Nothing going in the bottom half of the 5th for the Giants. The original plan was for Fernando Molina to go in the 6th, but since he didn't look too good, we're going to pivot and roll with Aniel de los Santos, who, of course, was not healthy prior to the World Series. He's been busy so far. 3 1/3 scoreless innings. He looks like his healthy self after missing a large chunk at the end of the year with a torn groin. Yandy Diaz on the ground to short. Jose Ramirez with it. Throw to first is in time. 11 outs away from winning a World Series, but we've still got a lot of work to do. Adolis Garcia now, 1-2. Grounds it up the middle for a base hit. So the Rangers get a runner on here with 1 away. We'll see if this is their opportunity to capitalize coming off of a 3-run 5th inning, looking to carry the momentum here into the 6th. Jefferson Caro is now up here for the Rangers with 1 away. On the ground, should be 2. Happ flips it to Ramirez. Over to Garrett. Double play! San Francisco gets out of it. And I think we've now put ourselves in a good spot to potentially finish this game because we're going to enter the 7th inning with the lead, where it will hopefully be the back end of the bullpen who, in some order of Romero, Bautista, and Duvall, finishes off the game. If none of those guys allow a run the rest of the way, we're winning the World Series tonight. Now, Romero and Bautista have been inconsistent here in the World Series. It's certainly not a foregone conclusion. As Ramirez grounds it up the middle, nice play by Framber Valdez, who deserves a ton of credit himself. After Corbin Burns got murdered on live television, Valdez was thrusted into the game, and he's pitched really well, keeping the Rangers in it. Taveras, the one who killed Corbin Burns, grounds it over to first, and the play is made by Yandy Diaz for the second out of the frame. That'll bring us back to the top of the order. Tommy Rogers, potential World Series MVP candidate, homered earlier, 3-1. Splits the first and second baseman and singles into right. Anytime we can get our fastest runner on base, is a good time, especially with Jung-Hoo Lee up, and we're only up by 1. You know, if this ball goes into the gap, we're scoring this run. Let's see if that's going to be the case. Doesn't look like it. Grounder to third. Young sends it over to Yandy Diaz. Another really strong inning for Framber Valdez, who continues to pitch terrific, and we will move into the 7th. Top of the order up for the Rangers. That features 2 lefties. That also features Geraldo Perdomo, who has basically been Jesus himself against lefties this postseason. I think his batting average against lefties starts with the number 9. I'm not exaggerating. However, with the other 2 lefties and Nathaniel Lowe close enough in the order, we will roll with Jojo Romero here for the 7th. He was unhittable in the first 2 postseason series, but he's been a little worse in the World Series, and that's going to continue here. Kwan down the line, digs for second, and he's got a lead-off double. Could this be the runner that the Rangers are able to drive in and tie the game with? Texas has had opportunities over the last few innings. They've gotten base runners. It's about situational hitting, something that our team has struggled with over the years. Now it's the Rangers, but they're going to get another chance in this inning. Geraldo Perdomo draws a walk. Maybe the best case scenario there. Corey Seager, swinging a miss on the slider. Seager's had a busy day with the walks, but he doesn't do it there. Seager had walked in each of his first 3 at-bats prior to that one. With 1 away, Marte flies it into center, caught by Taveras, and the Rangers are going to wisely keep the runner at second. 2 on, 2 away, another gigantic at-bat. It's Josh Young, biggest of the World Series. He finds himself ahead 3-1, draws a walk. I know he wanted to swing the bat. That's what every child dreams of in that spot. But the bases are loaded again. The Rangers had this exact spot in the 4th. It was Adolis Garcia who struck out. Now it's Nathaniel Lowe. Fouls it towards the first base side near the road dugout. And he is behind in the count, 1-2. Following pitch. Pops it up into center. And for the second time tonight, the Rangers leave them loaded. The thing that has killed us since episode 1 of this series has now gone to the other side. Jojo Romero gets out of the jam. He's fired up. His inning was not pretty, but he does not allow any runs to be scored. TJ Anton comes out of the pen here for the Rangers in the bottom of the 7th. We are really starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel, only up by 1, but we have the lead here late in Game 6 as Sable goes down looking on the outside slider. Nice pitch by Antoine. That'll bring up Stone Garrett. Flies this one into right. Garcia chases after it at the track, at the wall. He cannot make the play. It goes off the wall. Garrett into second. His second hit of the game, a 1-out double. Even though we have Bautista and Duvall ready to go for the 8th and 9th innings, we want some insurance runs. The Rangers have a very talented offense. Murakami hits it well into center. It'll be caught by Ketel Marte. We're not going to tag the runner. He probably would have been safe, but the risk there would far outweigh the reward. Base hit should score Garrett regardless, and it's Ian Happ. 1-1, puts it on the ground. Geraldo Perdomo will make the play. Nothing going here in the 7th. Our offense has been quiet since the 4th. But we still have the lead, 6-5, with 2 innings to go. Felix Bautista and Camilo Duvall are both ready to hopefully finish off the job. And we will start with the big fella, the mountain. Felix Bautista comes out of the bullpen for the top of the 8th inning. Bautista's had a terrific postseason with the exception of Game 1 of the World Series against the Rangers. A big reason why Texas won that game, but otherwise he's been pretty much flawless. 12 innings, 2 runs. We have used him a lot, and he has been fantastic. But look at this. Yandy Diaz off the wall and left. Rogers can't make the play. A leadoff double once again for the Rangers. This is how they started the last inning with Kwan. And again, Texas keeps giving themselves base runners. But other than the 5th inning, they're not capitalizing. Adolis Garcia flies it into left. Rogers is under it. That is the first out of the inning, and San Francisco is 5 outs away from winning the World Series. But again, we've still got work to do. This game is not even close to over. Jefferson Caro swing and a miss on the fastball. 4 outs away. Huge at bat here for Stephen Kwan. Base hit ties the game, and he's probably the guy you want up in this spot. One of the best contact hitters in baseball. 2 for 4 today. Looks at the splitter, and he is behind 1-2. Bautista knows he can get a little bit creative out of the strike zone, but Kwan does not take the slider. He lets that one go, and the count is now evened up at 2-2. Another chance here for Texas. They have left a lot of meat on the bone today. 2-2, swing and a miss! He gets fooled by the inside fastball, swinging out of his shoes. 3 outs away from winning the World Series. But again, game's not over. We still got work to do. It would be nice if we can add some insurance here in the bottom of the 8th against the righty, River Ryan. He has thrown 9 postseason innings and has let up 3 runs. He's been pretty solid. The Rangers need him now more than ever, though. They're already down by 1. They know that they cannot let this lead get any bigger. Kyler Rodriguez belts it into right center. Garcia at the track, at the wall. It's caught. I thought that had a chance to go over. It would have been Rodriguez's 4th home run in the World Series. Could have exclamated, that's not a word, could have been the dagger for the World Series MVP race. J.P. Crawford off the bench. Goes down looking on the fastball. Leody Taveras now. He's had a nice game. Behind in the count, 1-2. Grounds it over to first. Yandy Diaz makes the play. So a good inning by River Ryan. Got a little shaky as Kyler Rodriguez sent it to the warning track. But here we go. Into the 9th. We're going to make some switches. J.P. Crawford will move over to second base, not short, because Brendan Donovan will go to short, whereas Crawford is replacing Ian Happ. As for the pitching change, the closer, Camilo Doval, comes out for potentially the final time as a San Francisco Giant. His contract is up at the end of the year, and he's looking to slam the door and win the World Series. Doval's had his inconsistencies this entire season, throughout his playoff career, but he can put those to bed as he looks to retire these 3 batters. We'll start with Geraldo Perdomo, who fouls it off to the first base side. The 2-3-4 hitters being up for the Rangers certainly is one of their better combinations they could ask for. Fouls off the sinker, keeps the at-bat alive. Perdomo's had his issues against righties this postseason, but we know he's a very capable hitter as he flies this one in to left. Tommy Rogers is under it. 1 down, 2 to go. But arguably the 2 scariest hitters in the lineup are up next. Corey Seager, throughout his postseason and World Series career, has been terrific. One of the best playoff risers of this era. He's 0 for 1 today with 3 walks as he chases the high slider, and he is down to his final strike. The multi-time World Series MVP sits 1-2 from Doval, and he fouls this one over the San Francisco dugout. Ketel Marte awaiting on deck. He hit a 2-run homer back in the first. Another 2-run homer would be pretty useful here for the Rangers. Count remains 1-2 for Corey Seager. Swing and a miss on the sinker. 2 down, 1 to go. We're right there. We're on the 1-yard line. We better not throw it to Malcolm Butler. Ketel Marte, who's been the Rangers' best hitter in this World Series, is the one who is up. Marte was the final out of the 2023 World Series against these Rangers the last time they won it. He chases the inside slider and is down 1-2. The Rangers' season down to its final strike. The 1-2 from Doval. Swing and a miss! It's over! The San Francisco Giants have done it! World Series champions at long last! It takes us 5 seasons to get over the hump, but we finally get it done here in 6 games by the final score of 6-5. What a World Series it's been, what a playoff run it's been, what a season it's been, and so far, what an entire series. A really fun game here, but we get the job done. The back end of the bullpen comes up big one more time. The dynamic trio of Romero, Bautista, and Doval forever immortalized as we take a look at some reactions. We've got to start with one of the faces of this team, Tommy Rogers, who I believe should win the World Series MVP at 20 years old to do what he did. Leody Taveras, what a playoff run for him. And I know this World Series probably means a little bit more to him than the others on this team. Tavares knows how badly the Rangers wanted to win this one, so for him to play really well and beat them has to be a cool moment as we rise the trophy from Commissioner Rob Manfred. The San Francisco Giants, for the first time since 2014, are World Series champions. A photo that will be forever immortalized in San Francisco sports. We've done it! We have won the World Series. So let's start by talking about this game and this series, and then I will address what the future of this Giants franchise looks like. Certainly an interesting game for us. We had the 4 runs in the second, 2 more in the fourth, but then again, nothing after that. The offense was just way too up and down this postseason. Rogers, Lee, and Tavares all had multiple hits. Probably our 3 best offensive players in this postseason run. Kyle Harrison got the start. He was okay. Fernando Molina came in and kind of struggled, but then the bullpen shut things down. De Los Santos, Romero, very shaky 7th inning for JoJo. Felix Bautista in the 8th, and then the closer since day one. One of the guys who's been here since episode 1, Camilo Doval, slammed the door. Corbin Burns got the start. He didn't pitch too well, and then he got decapitated. I'll give the Rangers bullpen credit. They certainly kept them in the game, but the offense did not do enough after that wild 5th inning. So there you go. The Giants are World Series champions. Who wins the World Series MVP? Who wins the playoff MVP? Certainly going to be interesting to see who wins those awards as we reflect here over these next couple of minutes, from 69 wins in year 1 to 107 this year in a championship. Kyler wins the World Series MVP, and Jung-Hoo Lee, no surprise, wins the postseason MVP. That was an easy one. He hit .453. That is absurd, with Rogers and Sable in second and third. I would have to agree with that. Kyler wins the World Series MVP. I feel like it should have been Tommy Rogers, but Kyler was also fantastic. When the debate for the World Series MVP is our first 2 first-round picks at the series, with Kyler in year 1 and then Tommy in year 2, you know you're doing something right. Overall, what a fun team this has been. Jung-Hoo Lee, Kyler Rodriguez, Leody Taveras, Tommy Rogers, Blake Sable, all those guys having great playoff runs. I feel like some guys had really good postseasons, and then some guys down here, Murakami, Garrett, Donovan, not so great. Murakami did homer in Game 6, though. I'll give him his flowers. And then the pitching. Did Sandy Alcantara change the narratives? He is finally a World Series champion. He never won one with the Marlins. I mean, Sandy wasn't, like, outstanding this postseason, but he was solid enough. Kyle Harrison and Fernando Molina did their thing with the exception of Game 6, and obviously the bullpen, the entire postseason, other than Game 1, was phenomenal. So what's next for the San Francisco Giants franchise? MLB The Show 25 is about 2 months away. And as I look at the future of the channel and what I want to do before MLB 25 is here, I want to continue to speed up the 2 football series. This first season of the Kansas Dynasty went longer than expected. I wanted to take our time in Season 1, and then we also had the unexpected National Championship run. And then with the Broncos series, we had the hiatus between Seasons 1 and 2 because of the draft class issues that I had. So because of that, we missed out on that series for like 2 weeks. So I want to continue to push those forward and get through as many seasons as I can into the summer. So because of that, I don't necessarily want to go through another full season here. I think what we're going to do is kind of similar to what we did in the Marlins series and have a couple abbreviated seasons. For the 7th and 8th seasons of the Marlins franchise, we kept them within probably 3 to 4 episodes total. The offseason, the regular season, and the playoffs all condensed. And those were some of the most fun seasons of the series. So I think that's kind of what we're going to do here. It might be even less than 3 or 4 episodes. I haven't necessarily decided the exact formatting. But once we get through a couple seasons that way, we're going to go, of course, through the long-term sim. And then that will be it. So this series is certainly not necessarily over. We've still got another chapter to tell and a couple more seasons to go. I'm not entirely sure when the next episode will be because I'm still figuring out the logistics of exactly what the end of this series will look like. So it might be another week, week and a half until the next episode of this series comes out. But then from there, we'll be guns a-blazing, likely up until the middle of February, which is probably around when this is going to wrap up. And then again, before you know it, most likely middle of March is when we will get MLB The Show 25. And within the next couple of weeks, we're going to be starting to talk about some possible MLB The Show 25 teams. And if you guys want to start leaving some suggestions down below in the comments, feel more than free. So that'll wrap up the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. The San Francisco Giants are 2028 World Series champions. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Peace out.